Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting my reading vlog for the 24-hour Horror-A-thon. This readathon is hosted by my friend Ashley from Ashley's Little Library. It runs tonight, Friday the 26th, starting at 8 p.m. until tomorrow at 8 p.m. And there is a group buddy read below by Laurel Hightower. I purchased this off of Amazon so I could participate in the buddy read. It's about a Mothman. That's really all I know, and it's short, so you gotta love that. While driving through the mountains of West Virginia during the late night snowstorm, a recently divorced woman experiences bizarre electrical problems, leaving her with little choice but to place her trust with a charismatic truck driver. Okay. And then also I put The Nightmare Man. The Nightmare Man by 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒔 on my TBR. It's a short little point horror novel, whatever, you know. I put this on my TBR. But funny story. So right now, before the readathon officially starts, I'm gonna try to read One Italian Summer by Rebecca Serrell. My friend Nikki from Nikki Read That. She hasn't posted a video in a while, but I will have her channel linked down below. She was kind of struggling. She was kind of like slumpy, and she has like a lot of books that she was like wanting to choose between and having me pick. And this was one of the books, and I was like, I actually have that on my TBR. Maybe I could fit that in before the readathon. So we're kind of buddy reading this. She's already on chapter 12. I literally just started. I'm on page 34, and I'm like, Gwen, you have like pretty much like, I'm making dinner, so I have like very limited time to fit this in, but I'm doing it for a friend. So I'm actually going to read this first, and then I will jump into my actual horror books. I don't plan on vlogging this since this is a horror reading vlog, but just know before the readathon officially starts for me, I'm fitting this one in. All right, friends, it is officially 8 o'clock. It's actually, let me get the exact time here. 8:01. I don't know if you can see that. 8:01. The readathon has started, but I'm not done with One Italian Summer yet. So I am going to finish that up first. I am currently on page 188, so I'm almost done, and me and my friend Nikki have been Marco Poloing back and forth talking about the book, what we think about motherhood, cheating, Italy, and the atmosphere and all of that. She has finished, so I just made a coffee, and I'm gonna finish this one up, and then I'm gonna dive into the buddy read. All right, whoa. Okay, so I just finished reading One Italian Summer. It is 9 o'clock on the dot, so I officially have lost 1 hour towards the 24-hour readathon, horror-a-thon, so that's fine. I have so many thoughts about this book, and I think my thoughts will shock people, but I'm going to save all of my thoughts for my reading wrap up and for my patrons, and I'm going to have to write my review after 24-hour horror-a-thon is over. I'm going to wash my face, so the majority of this reading vlog, no makeup, so get ready for the jump scare. Gonna wash my face and put on my PJs, and the first sprint on Ashley's channel is almost over, and I'm going to jump into below. reading sprints are over on Ashley's channel. I had so much fun chatting with everybody and getting to hear little snippets of everybody's thoughts. I'm going to avoid the Discord channel for now until I finish the book, just so I don't spoil myself for anything. So far, I have made it to chapter 10, page 46, and the premise of the story is that this woman is taking a solo road trip to meet up with her friends to go to like a horror convention or something like that maybe. And as she's driving along, she sees this van in the middle of the road and this weird creepy guy. And so she kind of like swerves over and she ends up pulling over to this like diner truck stop area to kind of like get the adrenaline out of her. And then this trucker guy approaches her and asks her if everything's okay, that he was actually on the road and saw everything that happened and he was just checking on her. And then he's like, oh, I wouldn't stay here that long, especially as it gets late at night and it's starting to snow, and he's a little worried about that, and she seems a little worried about that. And she's like, he starts telling her about his CB, and she says, oh, I wish I had a radio. And so he has an extra, so he gives it to her, and she's kind of following along. And then something happens where the truck goes over the side of the road, and then she's left with this impossible choice. Does she help the trucker or does she continue on her trip? And you're just going from there. Definitely a different vibe than I thought it was gonna be. It's not really like creepy or scary or bloody or gory like I thought it was gonna be. This is what she does to the couch. She lays all those pillows like that so she can make a little fort for herself. It honestly never fails. Whenever I say a book isn't disgusting, it gets disgusting after that. So I finished Below by Laurel Hightower, and I'm gonna give it 2 stars. I really did not like it overall. The very beginning part I liked, until the incident on the bridge, and then pretty much everything after that I did not like. It does have sort of an ambiguous ending, and I feel like it just tried to throw off like a lot of feminist things in there and then, you know, call it done, and that really doesn't do it for me. You need to have more backing that up, you know. And it had like a creature in it, maybe possibly, and it is 7:37. I went to bed at 2:15. As Beth said on Discord, she took a little nap. She was up at 6 though, and I don't know how late she stayed up. But anyway, I definitely slept really good, as you can probably tell. Did not like Below, unfortunate, but I don't know. Ashley called it cosmic horror, and since I'm just learning the different genres within horror, it could be cosmic horror. And I know Gone to See the Riverman is also cosmic horror, and I also did not like that. I mean, I liked the beginning, I liked the very, very end, but I didn't like a big portion in the middle. So I don't know if it's cosmic horror I need to stay away from. So I'm gonna actually look up that term later today and like figure out what that is and see what, like look up some cosmic horror book recommendations and see if any of the ones that I haven't liked fall into that category. But this morning I just made my coffee and I'm gonna sit here and start The Nightmare Man. My husband and I are going to the farmer's market this morning. We need eggs and tomatoes and whatever else we can find. So yeah, that's the plan for today. Farmer's market, and then just chilling and hanging out and reading. Okay, I'm only on page 14 and the setup is sort of ridiculous. So you have Alex and his friend Jay are kind of hanging out. They go bird watching at this like pond, but it sounds pretty disgusting. Anyway, they're talking about, I don't know, things that scare them or whatever like that. And they kind of exchange fears or whatever. And Alex sees this man standing off like near the woods. And so when he gets home later that night, he asks his dad, have you ever been scared before? His dad is a policeman. Yeah, he's a policeman, a detective inspector in the Bursley division, and sometimes he gets pretty dangerous assignments. Okay, so his dad is this policeman, so he asks his dad, has he ever been scared? And the dad's like, no, not really. Oh, except for maybe this once. And he talks about this case where he caught this guy that they dubbed the Raven, and how it was his evidence that put him behind bars for like 10 years. And then he goes, oh, but we don't have to worry about him anymore because he died recently in jail of like a heart attack or something like that. Then the next chapter, so they were talking about his house. It's called End House. And he goes, oh, I know that house. That's why it's been sitting abandoned there all that time, because he's been in jail, blah, blah, blah. I wonder what's going to happen to it now. Well, guess what happens to it now? The guy, the Raven, leaves Alex's dad the End House. And it just says, 2 days later, we heard that shortly before his death, the Raven had made a will leaving End House with all of his contents to my father. And the mom's like, but why? Why on earth should the Raven leave you anything in his will, Colin, let alone a house? He was your sworn enemy, for heaven's sakes. And then the dad says, maybe he had a guilty conscience. After all, he did put me in the hospital for 6 months. Anyway, let's not worry too much about his motives. The main thing, we'll have a house of our own at last. And the mom says, sell it. Let's take the cash instead. And then the dad says, ah, well, I'm afraid we can't do that, Pam. Under the terms of the will, the house is only ours provided we live in it at least a year. Otherwise, the entire estate goes to the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. Okay, so let the house go to the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. There is no way. No way. I don't care if it was like a mansion. You don't move in to a free house. Don't do it. It's a trap. All right, I have to get ready to go to the farmer's market because we're leaving in like 30 minutes. Ready for the day, very comfortable. Put my hair up in a claw clip, and I've got 15 minutes to spare, so I'm gonna jump back in my book. back from the farmer's market. We got 2 dozen beautiful straight from the farm eggs. We got 4 tomatoes. We got this small seedless watermelon. We also got 2 yellow squash and 2 zucchini. I definitely want to have some eggs this morning for breakfast, but first I want to finish the Nightmare Man. Before we left, I made it to page 30, so I have about 70 pages left. So I'm gonna actually finish this up first, and then after I finish reading this, I will make some breakfast, and then after I eat breakfast, we will decide what I'm gonna read next. I ate breakfast, which means I finished the Nightmare Man. I'm gonna rate this 3 out of 5 stars. It is a YA horror novel written in 1988. It is about a family with a police officer for a dad, 2 young kids, and of course a mom. And they move into this house that was left to them in a criminal from the dad's past. His will left them the house. So they move into the house, they take on a boarder because it's this really big house. And then weird, crazy things start happening in the house. Is it ghosts? Is it something else? It's very short, so I can't really tell you too much other than that. It is very predictable, but overall I was engaged throughout. I was interested to see how it was going to play out. And another point horror success. Not my favorite, but I didn't hate it. So 3 out of 5 stars for this one. All right, friends, I tried my best to read this during the Discord unlisted reading sprints that Ashley did this afternoon. They're still actually going on. They started about 12 o'clock, I think, and I hopped on right as she started the timer for the first sprint. And I did 3 sprints, and I don't know if she's going to do any more, probably not, you know, halfway, because it's 170 pages. Yeah, it's 170 pages. So I'm actually past the halfway mark, and I just can't do it anymore. I think I am past the worst part of the story, but it's like one of those books that puts your mind in a really dark place and you really can't come back from it, you know? Like, there's like a part of your happiness that is slowly sucked away when you read a story like this. And it's just, okay. I had no idea what a pony girl was. I know what a pony girl is now. And it is about this fetish party that this lawyer goes to, and then wakes up the next day and he has no idea how he ended up, where he did, how he did. And it's told in a now and then, like a now, like when he woke up the next morning, and then the previous evening. And the previous evening events are what is very crazy, more graphic. I can't even really talk about this book. This video would be flagged for content. But yeah, it's a fetish party gone wrong. So there's that. And Ashley was also struggling with her read, and she's gonna try this graphic novel that she got on NetGalley. I actually saw that the other night too, and I thought it looked cute. But I think I'm gonna take a nap. I think it is Saturday afternoon. I have nothing else going on, so I think I'm gonna take a nap. And then when I wake up, I'm gonna finish out the readathon by reading Squad by Maggie Tokuda Hall. right, she actually did one more sprint. It just finished, so I did go ahead and start on squad. I am on page 76 now, but now I am taking a little nap, and then when I wake up, I will finish. So far, so good. Very interesting. Love the art style. The characters are very interesting, and I'm just really excited to finish it. But my eyes are tired, so I need to take a break from reading. Friends, I just finished reading Squad, and I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It had some like good representation, some bad representation, microaggressions, a little bit of racism, fat phobia, homophobia. But the fun thing about it is it's set in high school where a group of girls are werewolves. And Becca is new to the school and she doesn't know this. And she goes out with them because they kind of like pull her into their clique. And then they go out to a party and some guy comes on to somebody, and then, you know, the werewolves come out and avenge them, because there should be no guy at a party pulling a girl aside and like doing rapey things, you know? So like I'm behind that. But there was also like some fat phobia, and I get it. This is like that Mean Girls kind of trope where the queen bee and her minions all want to like look the best and stuff, but like why does that have to do with weight, you know? And then also Becca came from an all-girls school, and they mentioned something like, aren't all-girls school like known for lesbians and, you know, stuff like that. So another even reviewer said, I love the sapphic representation and the story was entertaining. However, the unchallenged representation of racism and fat phobia really killed my enthusiasm for this book. Yeah, that was it. So 3 stars for this one. Liked some parts, didn't like some other. 3 stars feels like a good happy medium. All right, I have decided, instead of just like immediately picking up another book, I have quite a few reviews to catch up on. All of these are books that I've read between yesterday and today. So right before the readathon started, I read One Italian Summer, and I need to write my review for that. The Nightmare Man, which I read this morning. Below, which I read yesterday. The DNF review for this, and my review for this. So I'm gonna sit down, write some reviews, and we'll see how much time I have after that. All right, I have finished writing my reviews. It is now 7 o'clock, well, 6:52, which means I have 1 hour left to read something else. And I was considering Eric LaRocca's newest novella, but it's probably gonna take me longer to read it than an hour. But I do have M is for Monster, and this is a brand new graphic novel. It was just released this year. It's by Talia Dutton. All right, it's officially 8 o'clock. That was so much fun. For Monster, and I'm gonna rate this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. I don't necessarily know what could have made it a 5-star read. I loved the color, I loved the story, I loved the characters, I loved the themes and the messages. I do think that Jen was a little underused as a character. I did like it talking about like women in science, and it is a definite nod to Frankenstein. This one woman tries to bring her sister back to life after an experiment goes wrong, and things are not quite what she would have hoped, but it takes a while to kind of figure that out. And it's about kind of just like grief, but also like finding your own identity. So really enjoyed this one. Really good for spooky season. I think it would be a really great reading experience if you read Frankenstein and then you read this. I think that would be a really cool reading experience. And I'll definitely be keeping this author, illustrator on my radar moving forward. But 4 out of 5 stars for this one. And that concludes 24-hour horror-a-thon for me. I was able to read a bunch. This was probably my favorite thing that I read. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna have the link to the Discord down below. Ashley's been talking to us on reading sprints about how she wants this read-a-thon to continue. Should it be monthly? Should it be bi-monthly? And she said something about looking for suggestions or input from people that participated. So if you happen to have missed this round, check out the Discord still. Remember, the link is only good for like 7 days, so you need to pretty much click it right away if you're interested. Put your input in there. Join the community. It was really fun. I think my favorite part of it was on the very first night when the readathon started. Ashley did reading sprints, and I actually finished One Italian Summer on those reading sprints, and then I jumped into the buddy read. So I was a little bit behind from everybody, but just hearing everybody's thoughts and then like reading through and kind of like knowing what they were talking about, like us all reading at the same time, was so fun. But I don't know if we're going to be able to do that every time, because I specifically bought that book for the readathon, but I'm definitely not going to be able to do that every single month, you know? So I don't know exactly how I personally feel about it. I don't think Ashley knows how she feels about it, but anyway, check out the Discord. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Ashley, for hosting. I wish this readathon luck now and in the future. And that's all from me. So thank you for joining me. I hope you all have a lovely day or night, and I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye, guys.